So if you think that student loans will stop you from buying a home, then this video is for you. Today I want to talk about a client that I had that just got a clear to close, which means that we will be closing on her home next week. She originally reached out to me and said, "Hey Marlon, I really want to buy a home. I have the income, I have the credit, but I got student loans." And I said, okay, that's not a problem, right? Because a lot of people think that because they have student loans, that will stop them from buying a home, which is completely false, right? So I say, okay, well, how much income do you have? She says, I make around $17,000 a month. I say, okay, perfect. So in my mind, I'm automatically thinking, if you make $17,000 a month, you have to have a lot of student loans for me to say that you don't qualify. And so then I say, well, what's your credit score? She says, I'm over a 700. I say, well, yeah, I don't see any issues. And I say, well, how much student loans do you owe? And I always like to ask these kind of questions when I'm dealing with a client prior to, just to kind of, get a feel of what I'm looking at, and just kind of see what they're going to get pre-approved for, or if they would even qualify to get pre-approved once I get this data. So I say, well, how much student loans do you owe? And she's like, I'm afraid to tell you. And I say, well, I need to know something to know if you qualify, or what we're looking at. And she said $300,000. I said, oh, okay, that's not a problem, because in my mind I'm thinking you're making $17,000 a month, right? Um, that's not, your payment for those student loans should not be an issue, right? And so I say, well, how much is your monthly payment? She said, well, right now it's deferred, so I'm not making any payment. And so that's when I knew that we would have to go off a 0.5% to get her qualified based off of, the Fannie Mae rule. If you do not have a monthly payment, we're going to go off of 0.5%, right? And so I said, oh, well, that's, roughly $1,500. Now I'm asking about the other debt, right? Because we look at all the debt. We look at the student loans, we look at the credit cards, installment loans, auto loans. These are all the different type of debts that we look at while pre-approving someone. So then she says, well, I just have that and I have a car note. So I'm thinking, oh, you'll definitely qualify, right? Because if we're looking at just 50%, and typically with FHA, we can go to 56.9% of someone's monthly income, right? So at $17,000, we're looking at right around $8,000 of maximum debt that she can have. That's including the new mortgage, the student loan she has, and the auto payment, right? So her auto payment was $1,500. We know that the 0.5% of the $300,000 balance she had, that was around $1,500 as well. So she could afford a home up to $5,000 a month, right? And so once I told her that, she gets super excited. She's like, "Oh, well, I didn't want to pay any more than, $3,500." Now she ended up going with a $4,000 amount home just because her taste did not like what $3,000 will purchase, but she found a home that she loved that was like around $3,800, and was satisfied. So yeah, I just want to make this quick video for anybody that's on the fence about purchasing a home because they have student loans. Having student loans does not disqualify you from purchasing a home. What it does is it's that balance that we're looking at. We're going to look at two things. We're going to look at either you have a monthly payment, which about 90% of people don't have right now because they have it deferred. And if you don't, we're going to look at typically a 0.5% of the balance that you have. So as long as you have the income, the other debts we're going to look at as well. So you want to kind of know what other debts you have, such as auto loans, student loans, installment loans, or credit cards. That's what we're going to look at, right? So once you know what those total debts are, as well as your monthly income, that's how we're going to kind of figure out what you qualify for. So keep in mind, student loans don't disqualify you. It just kind of sets the tone on what amount you'll be pre-approved for. So if this video was helpful for you, please like, comment, and subscribe to the page so I can make more videos like this. And if you're interested in seeing how much you qualify for, please contact me. My information is in the description. You can just click around on the page. And I look forward to working with you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out this next video.